Hello, and was not planning on doing any fishing today, but I was out running a couple errands, and I wanted to check a spot that was near where I was out at too. So where I am at today is a place called Sylvan Lake. This is in Burlington Township, New Jersey. Now I map quested this place, and it actually took me. It was showing me another lake that's a little over farther to the east, but zoomed in on the map, and this Sylvan Lake was next to the lake that MapQuest was taking me to, so that was kind of weird. So I ended up coming to this one, which is clearly Sylvan Lake. There's signs that say so. Now this place, I didn't know about this place. Apparently it's a public little area over there for swimming in the summertime, which is going to be nice, but I'm sure that's going to affect a lot of the fishing in here. But it's well kept. It's pretty clean. Like the looks of it. There's picnic tables here. There's most of it is housing, but it looks like you can act from here. There's some private parking. Not private parking, but parking that's for the lake. We have a little dock over on this side. That's nice. Let me flip the camera. So we've got a little dock over here you can walk out on, and pretty much that side, it looks like you could walk around, and there's access pretty much all the way around that side. And then I'm not sure, that looks like that might be closed to the beach swimming side over there, but then I see another little that might be a private drive over there, I'm not sure. But and then there's a house right here to my left, so there's some private area right past those trees. But I'm gonna give it a shot. I actually got a couple of new lures, some Guggen stuff that I first time using any of their products. Might give it a try. Now I've heard is that this place is pressured. It is trout stocked, which is probably one of the reasons it's pressured. Now when people say pressured, what does that mean? That means it's basically overfished. But I did see 6 days ago a real nice sized bass get pulled out of here on Fish Brain. There's a good picture of that. So I don't know, we'll see. We'll give it a shot. It's perfect fishing weather today, so couldn't pass up a little bit of time. Okay, wish I would have having a little bit more time here, guys. Really nice place. Unfortunately, I only had it about 30 minutes, so I could only fish that dock and a little bit of this bank right here, which if this place is overfished, those are the spots that are. So I didn't get a chance to kind of walk around the edge, go on that side, or over by where that drain pool is, or I did see there is an access point down on that end as well. So where I was fishing was primarily these areas, and it's not, I don't know if it's normally this shallow at this end, but you can see the bottom even at the very end of the dock. It's probably only about 2 feet down. So casting to my left or right, trying to stay close to the lily pads and work those a little bit, there was really not a lot of action going on there. Plenty of tiny little bluegill in there, probably some other types, little minnows here and there, but definitely nothing big was moving through there besides a gigantic box turtle that swam right past the dock. Was pretty cool. I mean, this thing had to probably be about the size of a car tire. Other than that, I did get a couple quick little nibbles, but nothing substantial. And like I said, I really do like this place, and I wanted to come back and try to hit some more of that side over there. And I only tried, you can see the junk that's kind of in the bottom there. So this is the only lure I tried today besides a quick top bait, and I switched back to this because I just kept grabbing way too much of this stuff. But that was kind of like one of my last casts here, and you can just see all the weeds that I'm picking up almost every time through. Well, not every time through, probably like 1 out of 3 times it comes back looking like this. I got to clean it up. So a very enjoyable spot. Recommend it as a location as far as fishing goes. Maybe I'm just on a bad streak. Only call it 3 and my last like 6 spots, so that could be a factor too. But anyway, you guys have looked at this lake enough, and here I am. So there you have it, Sylvan Lake in Burlington Township, New Jersey. And I'm back. This is really one of the reasons why I kind of thought this video series would be kind of cool, because people come to these lakes and you just don't know where to go, what to expect. So as I'm pulling out, I decided let me check you know, on my map where it showed another lake, and there's another lake. So there's Sylvan Lake 1, Sylvan Lake 2. Sylvan Lake 2, much bigger than where I was. Humongous. There's a boat ramp where you can back down a trailer boat and put one in. There's lots more fishing. There is a huge dam spot that sort of feeds into a river area. I met some gentleman. He was explaining all kinds of things to me about the lake. They had dredged it a couple years back. They built a bunch of spawning habitats for bass in the water, filled it back up. They had put all the fish on the one lake. They brought a bunch of the fish back over a few years back. Saying it's not quite as overfished as it used to be, but trout fishing, even though it's a stock lake, is not very good. At least he hasn't seen anyone pull any good size out of there. He told me there's a decent amount of parking spots. If you look on the Google map, if you ever come here, the first lake I showed you guys where there was that parking lot, and then there's a park with a baseball field and a couple things that's right by sort of where the dam is, and there's a big parking lot right there is what he told me. Kind of driving around that way now. I don't know if I'm going to run into it and see it or not, but I'm just coming around the backside of that now. So I was in the middle when I started driving. I drove around sort of the backside. So there are some signs over here that say no fishing. There's some houses to my left, but for the most part over there, there's a ton of areas. At Sylvan Lake, different day. I'm trying the other side here. Nice access. A little tricky to find if you don't know the name of the road. I'll put that right here. That's the road you want to try to GPS, and the end of that road will get you to a little park with a parking area with a nice little access walk out to this side of the lake. So one thing I noticed, you know, the time that I was spending here, I did catch 2 small little bluegills, but nothing else. A couple bites, but I think they were small, too small for the hook I was using. But there is, you can see this path sort of behind me. There is a lot of bike traffic, which, you know, that doesn't bother me. But the one side of the lake over there, has about 5 or 6 access points, and there was 2 spots where a couple of groups sort of came that weren't even fishing and put blankets down and all, and kind of was just like hanging out, having some lunch, which was cool. And right next to me was a lady and her son, and that was kind of cool because he was checking out right next to me where this little small sort of creek runs off. There are so many tadpoles, billions of them in there. Also lots of minnows, so might not be a bad place to come back. Through a minnow trap. I don't even know. I don't know if that was a fish that just darted through there, or a frog. But I imagine a couple of trout probably got stuck up in here somewhere. Hey, what's going on? So here we are, final review portion of the show. I do my review on 4 aspects: location, ease of access, cleanliness, and then my overall feeling of the spot. Got my notes here. So Sylvan Lake, Burlington Township, New Jersey. Location. Location, I give this an 8. The smaller lake, real nice area. The dock, I think, is a nice touch. Very quiet sort of area, even though we'll talk about a lot of my complaints. You wouldn't think it was such a quiet area. Surrounded by lots of residential houses, but they're not like on the water themselves. A couple of them are. Most of them are across all the major roads that go around the lake. So a very good location. I didn't know about the 2 lakes, but this isn't the location's fault. It's a little bit more me being first time going there, as well as Google when you bring up Google, it only says Sylvan Lake on the one small lake. So, ease of access, I give this a 9. So, there's 3 major parking areas, as well as a couple of nice small pull-off areas on the one larger lake. So, you can't get much better than that. Everything's right there. The lake's right there. Boat ramp, very easy access to that. Shorelines, no problems whatsoever. I would probably have given ease of access a 10 if it wasn't for the fact that in the one spot you had that very steep concrete bank to get down to the water, and that's sort of like, that is one of the major fishing areas of the large lake, is getting down that concrete bank. So that brought it down a little bit. Then we get into cleanliness. Cleanliness, I give this an 8. There was a decent amount of trash here or there. Bottles. I think this probably goes, reflects a little bit on the fact that there's a lot of foot traffic. So you've got probably non-fishermen just, throwing down bottles. A lot of kids hanging out. So I didn't see a ton of trash cans. There were a few here or there, but still pretty clean. So it's an 8. That's good. Overall, I give this a 7. Now, this would be higher if it wasn't for all the foot traffic that I talked about plenty in this video already. There's just a lot of non-fishing activity that goes on here. It's a hangout spot, I guess you could say, which sort of also goes back to the location being good, that it's residential and quiet, but also can be a little bit noisy at times and high traffic. So that still gives it a 32 out of 40, which is 80% fishable, which is very good. So there you have it. Sylvan Lake, Burlington Township, New Jersey. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and go fishing.